Hey everybody, Tom Coyle. Hi, I wanted to give a few thoughts on leadership in crisis. Now, as we know, a lot of us are going through this coronavirus situation, completely unpredictable what was going to happen here. I mean, obviously with the learning, so I'm not talking about like the early warning signs. I'm talking about how many of us were walking around at the start of the new year and thought this was going to happen. I certainly didn't. And the thing about crisis planning, what makes it easier in a crisis is when, the favorite expression of mine, when did Noah build the ark? He built it before the rain. Because if you're trying to build your ark and the rain's coming down, you're swearing at her, you're yelling at somebody else because you got the rain coming down, you're miserable, you can't think, you can't process things, it's just a disaster. But on a nice sunny day, check it out. It's pretty easy. In fact, let's check this out. Let's go out there and see what my day's like out here today. Come on, check this thing out. Nice sunny day. I'm going to take you out here very briefly. I wasn't planning on doing this. Look at this. It's gorgeous out. Sun's out. Wonderful morning. This is the time to think of how to prepare during a crisis. This is the way you do it. This is when you do it. Go back in here just because the lighting's just a little bit better. But I wanted to just take you out there. Spur of the moment. Didn't plan that, but we're doing it. The time to plan is before something happens. Now, here's the thing. You don't know what crisis is going to happen. When I was in the Army, we had an expression called GO TWA. Go. So the G is where are you going? Others are taking with you. Time you're going to be gone. What to do if I don't come back. Actions to take if you're in contact with the enemy. Actions we're going to take if we're in contact with the enemy. Applying it to you. Let's just say it's coronavirus thing, you're going out and you're going to get groceries. Tell your family, hey, going to Costco. Taking nobody, just going me. Time. Should be back about 45 minutes. What to do if I'm not back in 45 minutes. Actions to take if, say, you get a call from the police and I'm in the hospital, or action to take if you don't hear from me. And you think through this process. Why is this useful? Well, because if you've already thought about it, if the unexpected happens, because you've already been going through this what-if exercise in your mind, you're ready to go. One of the things I've learned to do is make decisions faster in a crisis. Why? It goes back to my time in the military. We would what-if everything to death. We'd go over, what if this happens? What if this happens? And there's this fine line between indecisiveness and wargaming. And you want to be able to, at some point you put things away and down, but you have to start thinking through contingencies. Well, if this happens, I'll do this. If this happens, I do this. And if C happens, I'm going to do this. So you got A, B, and C. Well, oftentimes, D happens. You weren't even thinking about it. But because you went through the mental exercise to think through what would I do in this situation, suddenly you can make clearer decisions because you've already gone through the exercise. You can apply this for anything. Let's just say you're thinking about quitting your job to be, a full-time speaker or be an entrepreneur. Okay. Outline your worst fears. Put it on paper. Tim Ferriss mentions this in the 4-Hour Work Week. Okay. What happens if I get sick? Well, write out the things you can do. What happens if my investments just tank, like we're seeing now with the coronavirus? Talk about what you can do. And what happens is by thinking through these worst case scenarios on a beautiful sunny day like we have today, when the rain comes, you've already thought about it. You can make faster decisions. You're not hesitating. You're not in a state of panic. You've already gone through the mental exercise. And the more you do this, the better you get. The more you do things like just simple things. You're going to the grocery store. Don't just put it in your GPS and go. Look at the map. Even if you know where you're going, even if you know the directions by heart, you wouldn't fire up your GPS. Fire up your GPS and think to yourself, if a hailstorm happened and I need to get, or something happened, I need to get shelter right now, where could I go? Where are some points along my route? And you look, oh, look, there's a shopping mall here. There is a coffee house here. Like basically, if something happened, I had to get off the road right now, where could I go? And have that, so when you're driving along and suddenly something happens, you know where to go. Maybe you need to get help. You know where that help is because you've already gone through this mental exercise. So, have a plan, And then think through ways the plan might change. The way, as we say in the Army, Murphy gets in the way. What would you do to mitigate that? What would you do if this? And think through some things that could go wrong with your plan or things that could disrupt your plan, and think about possible actions you could take. And by going through that mental exercise, what ends up happening is when the crisis actually comes, you'll be better prepared, you'll make quicker decisions, and you'll make better decisions because you've already thought about it. It's the same reason kids do fire drills. You don't know what the fire is going to look like, but you want people making orderly decisions when something happens. And let's say it's something that's not a fire drill. Well, you can pivot because you've kind of gone through a fire drill process. You at least have some plan of what to do when something bad happens. So, had to throw that in at the last minute. I hope this is helpful for you. Let me know in the comments below. Ask questions, like the video, share if you found this of value, and have a fantastic day. Enjoy your time with family, your time with friends. Reach out to people who maybe who are at risk, or just friends and family. Use this time to get in touch with people you wouldn't otherwise get in touch with. Humanity, we are a community, and I don't want to drag this out any longer than necessary, but yeah, reach out to people. And there's particularly people, the elderly, folks such as that, who are the sick, people who could use a connection. Reach out to them. Find a phone call. I'm sure you could probably call up a random nursing home and say, hey, is there somebody there I can talk to who just doesn't have anyone visiting? And just talk to them on the phone or something. I'm sure there's lots of things you can do. Let's do this together. Thank you once again.